All right, this is sketching functions 1. Graphing is a way to represent what happens in the real world. Sometimes we don't feel that way, but it actually is. So right here we're talking about the quantity of gasoline consumed in the U.S. is a function of price per gallon. So if gasoline was 50 cents a gallon, would we buy a little or a lot? A lot. So as the gas gets more expensive, what happens?
It gets lower.
What gets lower?
People buying gas.
People buying gas, okay? So the price, as the price per gallon increases, the quantity that we buy decreases. So here's the question. Does this curve appear to have a positive slope or a negative slope?
Negative.
Negative slope, so circle it. Why do you suppose this is the case? Yeah.
Because they're getting less money.
Because it's more expensive and people buy less. They change their habits based on how much it costs to drive. Okay? And that's true.
16. What's the slope again?
Slope
That line.
is the direction of the line.
Oh.
It is the direction going positive or upward, or is it going negative or downward? Okay?
So what's the answer?
Negative, and why do you suppose it is the case? Everybody's going to have their own way to say it. But do you change, do you go on a big, long drive? Would you drive to Washington, D.C., or would you take a plane right now at $4 a gallon? Probably fly. It's probably cheaper to fly across country than it is to drive right now. Unless you've got a family of 27, but you can't fit them in the car. The distance, excuse us, the distance from the starting line of a runner in the 100-meter dash is a function of the time since the start. So at zero time, zero distance, they're right here. Why? They haven't started. They're on the block. Okay? Now the gun's gone off. And why? Why does the curve slope more steeply upward as time increases? They run faster. They build up momentum. Okay? So answer that question. What is the domain of the function and what is the range? So we know on a graph we talk about x and y. And they get graphed in alphabetical order, right? Domain and range go with x and y. So which one's x?
The bottom one.
Domain and range. Alphabetical again. Domain is time. Range is distance. You've answered graph B. On graph C, we're talking the height above the ground of a cannonball shot from a cannon is a function of the time since it was shot. So it starts here. Why does it start here and not on the ground?
Because it started shooting from
Because it's shooting from a cannon. Does a cannon sit on the ground?
No.
No, it sits in a holder, right? They're usually on a big wood holder. And if you put a cannon on the ground, you've got problems. And they point upward, right? So here goes the cannonball, and it goes like this. Then what does it do?
Goes down.
Yeah, Kyle said gravity. Oh, gravity's tough. That's why I trip, right? That's why we trip and fall. Gravity gets us. So when time equals 0, why is the height of the cannonball not equal to 0? Because the cannon is on a...
Ground.
No, the cannon's not on the ground. It's on a stand. There's the word. Describe the domain of the function and describe the range. Domain goes with x. Range goes with y. Because I asked you. Okay. On graph T, the profit from a restaurant is a function of the number of meals that are served. But what's happening? Profit is right here. Why does it start down here? Think about a restaurant. It's a brand new restaurant. What happens when you open a restaurant?
A lot of people
You got to buy all this stuff. You've got to rent the space. You got to make sure you got a kitchen that works. How about food? And dishes. and pots and pans
And electricity.
and electricity and, you know, menus and
You have to
all the stuff. All that stuff costs money, right?
Oh,
And you got to pay all that money before you've even served your first meal. Now you start serving meals and you start making some of that money back. And you make some more back and some more back and some more back. And then finally, you hit your break-even point. And then you can make some money. So, why does the range include negative values? Because you had to spend money before you could break even. What is the significance of the point where the graph crosses the horizontal axis? That's called the break-even point. Does that help put perspective on what graphs tell you?
Yes.
Good, we're going to do another one.